What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys, and of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and hop in the Discord, link for that's in the description box down below.
Yep.
As we get rolling here tonight, guys, a bit of a 3 cheers for 7 years here at MCF.
Yep.
Thank you for everybody for watching and supporting all these years. I know we are deep in the off season with not too much going on, so tonight is a Cowboys quickie. We only have a handful of things to touch on, so thank you for hopping in here, and let's make sure to shout out the people who help make MCF happen, whether it's a quickie or otherwise. Yeah,
remember, it's a brand new week here at MCF after 3 weeks of compiling a bunch of live streams during our vacation/COVID time that we had to go through here. But it is a celebratory day. 7-year anniversary here at My Cowboys Family. Completed a full 7 years on YouTube. We're officially in year 8 here on MCF. So
will this be the one?
Let's hope. We got the infinity, I guess, and Aikman. But let's not stay at 5 for infinity. 7-year anniversary, going on to to 8 years here, and I also wanted to point out that like Dak is, what's going on here with CeeDee Lamb. I mean, this is taking long into the longest of the off-season portion here, and no word yet on what's going on. We got a little bit of an update there with the clown show. Are they going to put up or shut up? But yes, kicking off a brand new week, guys, with brand new winners. In a way here, I guess on some of the boards, some of them the same old champions. Big shout out to the sponsor of the week and the Cash App King, Lincoln Kane, fellow star level member here. Pretty much like a year and a half since we've had the reboot here at the membership side of things. So big shout out to Lincoln Kane, sponsor of the week, and Cash App King, doing that mostly on the After Dark sessions. And then also, Mr. Godless Manitoban, who is from the After Dark sessions, came over here and said, let me get that Stream Boss. Still has Robert Newhouse, 44 points on the Stream Boss. And then the weekly gifting the weekly gifting winner is once again Jet Li 44. 8 out of 9 weeks, he's been the champion. So a huge shout out to formerly Jason Renfro, a.k.a. now Jet Li 44. Big shout out to him. And, of course, when it comes to a new week, there's are there new leaders on that side? Not yet. It's our first MCF, official football. My Cowboys Family live stream tonight, but there is currently no gifting leader at the moment. There are some other leaders though when it comes to the board, and let me say big shout out to Multi Super Kalo, who is our not only Cash App leader but also the overall leader. Of course, some drops on the After Dark session like Multi-Super Kalo, who's in first place, Marissa Sparkle, Pat Pfeiffer, Dark Raven, and, when it comes to this side of things, we also have A. Lavelle back in that silver level membership, Gerald Swain, much love to him in the Navy Blue crew, and Jet Li 44 in that star level membership. And again, he's right there in second place on the overall board. Always got to watch out for Jet Li. He can strike at any moment. Thank you, Multi-Super Kalo, who's currently in first place, kicking off a brand new week here at MCF. There's a bunch of ways to drop the love. You can do it through the thanks button. You can jump in the membership. You just heard a couple people in the membership. You can gift memberships. You could also, of course, do the $sign at the bottom right of your screen there, the super chats, which, of course, all go towards the leaderboard. But then there's 4 other ways you can help this channel out. That's not through the YouTube side. And a lot of people on the After Dark session go through these ways. The Cash App Crown, that side of things.
Yeah, you have the Cash App, of course, money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo app, My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat would.
That's right, and not just on that side of things. We also have some winners here to shout out, like LC and McLovin, our weekly winners for the last month of June. We're gonna have our monthly jersey raffle right around the corner here this week sometime. And everybody in the star level and over everything level will also, of course, be involved in this raffle monthly for the month of June. Again, all star level get 1 entry. The over everything get 2 entries. And, of course, weekly winners like McLovin has 1 of those entries. And since we had a triple week, he won that one.
Yeah.
But we also have, of course, Lincoln Kane picking up the victory here as well. So we'll see who the winner is sometime this week, getting one of these sewn and stitched Cowboy jerseys. new school, old school, all different kind of styles for all kind of, men, women, children. But we also do for the star level and over everything level members, we also do the nightly shout out. So baby, without further ado, who are those fantastic level members?
Thank you very much to Skeptical Fan, Jet Li 44, Dwayne Broussard the Top Dog, Lincoln Kane, The Lunatic, and over everything, C Bass.
Ooh, yes. So appreciate everybody in those level memberships, Navy Blue as well, and Silver too. Of course, starring over everything, the Top Shelf, and those weekly winners who make this thing go around. So you guys got a chance to win one of these fantastic authentic like jerseys. Oh, and we got Jangly Echoes with that $2 holler, a little J. Lou $2 holler.
Kicking things off here on the official side of things. Much love.
With a little info, so to speak, on the CeeDee Lamb saga and situation. And again, I'm not a big fan of. Obviously, we're not fans of Mike Fisher, but I'll speak on my opinions on things. What did he have to say, baby, about the CeeDee Lamb situation?
CeeDee, it's a bogus story. Mike Fisher debunked it. Now, not saying that you aren't correct. It is bogus story, and the rumor and the source that spoke about it, and we'll obviously touch on that in a few moments here. But the veracity of the person debunking it remains to be seen. Thankfully, others have also come out and spoken out against it, and we have to be honest, as soon as we quote-unquote heard the news, we thought it smelled a little funky.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it. Actually, it's just such a quickie today. We'll get to some other news first, and we'll end it with the CeeDee Lamb discussion. But yeah, don't worry too much about the CeeDee Lamb talk. There's a lot of reasons why to debunk this. I think you even have something on your own as far as the source is concerned. But we'll talk about that later on. I'm just saying that the source. There's other factors like the number, 32 million. We'll discuss that and say, hey, listen, is this really a possibility that this not just story is real, but that CeeDee wants to be traded? Listen, we didn't fall for it, so we hear you what you're saying and we understand. Trust me. So let me throw them up on the board here, baby, as you do some of the shout outs in the chat.
Of course.
If you don't mind. Much love
and thank you again, Jangly Echoes.
Kicking it off here tonight on a live stream.
Sharing the
here.
facts.
Oh,
Jared Jones, what's up? Saying moral of the trade story is coming out of a horse's ass, meaning it's
it's horse
yes,
shit.
I would say. I think we're. I'm not sure where we're at in these YouTube points. So
with the cursing, I think we're past this.
I think we're good. So Alexander 302, what's up? James Hirsch, shout out to you. Little Dallas Cowboy, much love. Leaside Harold, the #1 Dallas Cowboy fan in Houston.
You know it.
Ramon and Carolina Jones, let's go Cowboys. Jangly Echoes, of course. Double R representing. We have Spoony Dog in the house. Let me see. Rolling back a bit here. McLovin, showing the love.
Hey, welcome in.
We're doing something here. Manuel Trillo, what's up? Speaking of what's up, what up, 8? Freedom first, hello and hi. Not first today, unfortunately. Skeptical fan always. Staying skeptical. Asking the real question, did we win in the playoffs with CeeDee last year? He said trade him so he can choke in the playoffs with another team. Ooh, spicy. I am curious to hear, true or not, I'm curious to hear people's opinions.
Yeah.
So, that's Modius. Much love to you, of course.
Yeah.
Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, what's up?
In the house.
Let me come back down. Make sure I didn't miss anybody here. So, oh, wow, Jangly Echoes. Highly disagree there, but it's all good. We have a nice history with Mike Fisher.
The reasoning behind the Mike Fisher issues that we have are other factors. He definitely was the #1 Cowboy reporter for many years over there during the early Jerry Jones years and kind of being embedded over there with them. So I do agree that, Mike Fisher definitely has his history to support him. But I think he's fallen out of favor in some ways. I also think that I know other reporters are talking about his alcohol abuse. I'm not even holding that against him. None of those reasons are why we're not big fans of Mike Fisher. It's more of the clickbait stuff that we know he uses certain content creators to kind of bounce off his stuff. And it's just shiesty kind of stuff he's doing behind the scenes, on top of the fact that when he gets called out on a story that he's trying to clickbait with, he gets upset about it and then blocks you and wants to pretend like it didn't happen. So, again, that's what happened with us, right?
Two moments that live rent-free in my head. Besides, one of them being Mike Fisher trying to lie and pretend that he didn't say. It was during the Zeke contract times where we just straight up called him out and said, you're just lying.
Well, it was It was the situation with the when he shoved somebody in Vegas, and it was an off season.
Yeah, when he was
Zeke
at
shoved
like
someone
some,
concert,
I think some EDC
yeah.
festival.
Yeah, and he shoved some guy or security guard, and there was a ruling coming from the NFL, and he swore it's going to be Zeke's going to get 2 games. Well, we had heard it was going to be from many other reporters that Zeke was getting no games, suspension, and after it was almost basically guaranteed, he stood even harder on the fact that he knew that Zeke was getting 2 games. That's the way it was. So it wasn't like we were mean to him either. I want to be clear. We weren't like, hey, you asshole. It wasn't like that. It was like, hey, everybody else has said it's not that. It sounds like it's going to be no games. And he blocked us. He was pissy about it. And then he started saying stuff about us on his channel in the past. And we didn't even know he even gave a damn, honestly, about that. So,
but like I said, the real cherry on top for me is I'll never forget several Dallas Cowboy reporters. We're talking like the Jane Slaters and the Calvin Watkins of the world. Publicly called him out. Like, I can't remember exactly what it was for. It was like a year after that. Yeah. He publicly called him out and basically said, this is bullshit. You are clickbaiting, stop spreading cowboy misinformation. Yeah.
And again, I want to also reiterate, I know he had a story with Bobby Wagner. Kind of, not a story directly, but indirectly. And that's something I've been saying, that the Bobby Wagner situation was being held up by the Joneses, not by Dan Quinn. And he was pushing and he was right. You know what I'm saying? He was saying that, Bobby Fischer and Dan Quinn would be a great match in Dallas, which I agree with him on that. But he was trying to say it might happen, and we already knew it wasn't going to happen. It's just I didn't like the pumping up of that, even though I know that was probably the truth on the Dan Quinn side. On the Bobby Wagner side, I know that was the truth. They wanted him down. Those 2 guys wanted to be reunited in Dallas, but we also knew the Joneses. You got to throw that in the mix, that they did not want them reunited, as we know now.
Yeah.
Bobby Wagner basically admitted that, hey, listen, ask the Cowboys about why I wasn't able to be brought back. Not, it's not about Dan Quinn. He's with Dan Quinn now with the Washington Commanders. So, for these last 2-3 years, it could have been Bobby Wagner with the Cowboys, but the Joneses stepped in the way there. And Mike Fisher had that, kind of pegged, like we had it kind of, accurately kind of reported, I guess you could say. But look, it's all about, I don't care who likes who here out here. We try to get the best compilation of what we can find. If Mike Fisher has a good story, we will touch on that, you know what I'm saying?
But we just do not stand for bullshit or clickbait.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just the thing.
We don't care where it's coming from, whether it's a supposed official Dallas Cowboy reporter or out on these YouTube streets or just, weirdo people on the internet.
And if people make mistakes, they make mistakes. That's fine, too. If we make one, we'll say, oh, no, we were wrong about that. But, some guys out there will rather block people than to admit they made a mistake.
They don't even know what the word retraction is. So,
exactly.
Anyway, let's go ahead. Touch on the NFL news here.
Some facts out there about the NFL right now is that every NFL team will have to now reportedly be required to pay $449 million each team to cover that $14.39 billion cost of the Sunday ticket lawsuit.
Ouch.
So, that's a lot, even for Jerry Jones, any of these teams. Probably Jerry Jones the least, but it's a lot for these very rich owners. Basically $500 million each is what it's a little under $500 million each. So that's a pretty big hit there.
They're feeling pretty salty, and you have to imagine this is going to disproportionately affect the teams with less revenue in general. Like you said, the Cowboys, it's a lot easier for them to take that hit versus, the Bengals. So it's a bigger chunk of their pie.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, that's the team that Jerry Jones went after was the Bengals, and they bring in such little money. What, $3.5 billion is their worth? But, $500 million is a big hit to a team like that, so.
Like I said, proportionally speaking, that's more of their money.
Jerry Jones is like, nothing. It's like a nickel for him. So, either way, again, I kind of wonder more how is it going to trickle down to the Sunday ticket, package holders that
like I said,
have won
I don't think
are getting
going
on
to
this.
see any results for this upcoming year. Sounds like this money is probably, going to be kept, in reserve on the side for if they're forced to pay the lawsuit, because as we know, they are appealing and trying to,
it'll take some
say
time
that
for
this is way too much money that they're fining us. Yeah. So
it's just a matter of time before it gets done. But like you said, it won't be this year.
Holy fat stacks, Batman. That is right. And again, let's see if us, the fans, the ones who have toiled away to make sure that the NFL has those $449 million each to pay, right? Hopefully, we do see some kind of
refund
remuneration
or deal
there,
or,
just
yeah.
because, remember, we're the ones being affected here. We just want to watch our teams, not watch, oh, sorry, it's blacked out. Sorry, it's not available in your area. Sorry, the one team you actually give a shit about, you can't actually watch.
Yeah.
Like,
which
come
luckily
on.
we don't have a problem for that for the Cowboys, but a lot of other teams have that complaint. And again, the thing is, it would actually come down to what I heard some people say is it could be thousands per household when it comes to this situation. So
Yeah.
something to watch. By the way, as you can see, we have our thank you to the Man Skeptical fan who got us someone to commission someone to do some artwork of our MCF here front people. And yeah, I love the little cartoons. We break them out once in a while for special occasions. This is one of them, since it is the 7 years on YouTube. Now, entering the 8th year. We're actually already in the 8th year, since it is the second.
Yeah.
The first, July 1st, is the actual kickoff day 7 years ago. So, but anyways, back to the news. All-Star game news. And I'm talking about that actually directly affects the Dallas Cowboys in the sense of where we had the East-West Shrine Bowl. Mm-hmm. That was all in the Ford Field at the Star. At that, and they had the game, and was it Frank Gore's son had a great breakaway game in that matchup. But that was all in the Ford Field, that Ford Center, a very small venue. Let's call it. It looks almost like a high school basketball kind of seating venue in a way, right? But that's where the Cowboys practice. So that's when they had to go indoors. So it's the same kind of field, and it's it's not meant to necessarily have huge events. Now this Shrine Bowl, the 100th East-West Shrine Bowl, will be played, basically in the beginning of 2025. This 100th game is going to actually get moved to AT&T Stadium.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's going to be in Arlington, Texas. It's going to be 7 p.m. on Thursday evening, January 30th. It's going to be shown on the NFL Network. And again, it's going to be not in little itty-bitty at the Star in Frisco at the Ford Field. Ford Center.
I mean,
it's
that's already impressive enough, but it is
Yeah.
very, very cool that
Yeah.
it is happening now in AT&T Stadium.
It's
a bigger
crazy, right?
platform, a bigger
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah, again, for those little guys you'll see drafted in the day 3 and undrafted group, guys like Frank Gore Jr., right, that was out there. So it is a premier. Basically,
Or as the Cowboys like to say, they're moneymakers.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's not going to be at the Star. It's not going to be as little of an event now. That's going to be, at least for the 100th East-West Shrine Bowl game, it's going to be at AT&T Stadium next year, 2025, on January 30th. It will be also shown on the NFL Network. So they're moving it to basically obviously a premier venue for the 100th edition of the longest-running college all-star game. So congrats, I guess, to Jerry Jones once again. And, again, the Cowboy staff might get, a closer look than most when it comes to this, because they probably will practice at Ford Field there at the Ford Center at the Star, and then have the game at Arlington, AT&T Stadium. So,
I mean, yeah, if our scouting department just happens to be there.
Hey, that's what happened this year. And you know who was there? Dan Quinn, too, for a couple of those days. So, yeah.
Well, of course, Dan Quinn is still trying to steal
Spying.
half our team.
Yeah. So he's spying, and he was doing his thing. Anyways, a little update on those two sides of things there. Now, what about on the player side? Nothing really major even in the NFL as far as movement. But I will add, the NFL did announce that he's a free agent now. All right, he was with the Niners the last 2 years. But free agent safety, Tayshaun Gibson, suspended for 6 games due to a violation of the performance-enhancing substance policy. So, PEDs, PES, whatever. Tayshaun Gibson from the Niners, formerly of the Niners, maybe they knew something was going on. They released him. Safety, gone for 6 games now officially. If anybody signs him, he's a free agent. If anybody signs the safety, Tayshaun Gibson, he misses 6 games once he's signed by a team. So
right.
For violating the PED there. So he's suffering the consequences there. Now, rookies. How about next? We talk about next year at the East-West game. What about someone? I guess ESPN decided to do kind of an early draft, kind of mock draft, very early. Obviously, we haven't even played 2024 yet, right? But in their mock draft, they had the Cowboys picking at 27, which means like we got to like the divisional round. It looks like again and lost. But basically, they have the Cowboys at pick 27. Selecting running back Quinshon Judkins from Ohio State. A running back in the first round. Similar, if you remember, again, the number 4 pick running back from the first round, Ezekiel Elliott from Ohio State as well. So, yeah, Quinshon Judkins, running back, Ohio State, is the early, kind of pick to maybe who the Cowboys will be drafting. It's funny. We'll have Zeke this year. Will he be replaced by someone like Quinshon Johnson? So Quinshon Judkins. I'm sorry. So again, running backs in the first round. They basically, ESPN says he has elite talent. Cowboys ignored the position, and have a reunion now with current 29-year-old Ezekiel Elliott, who's also Ohio State. They're saying that Judkins, rushed for 2,725 yards and scored 31 rushing touchdowns over 2 years with Ole Miss before now transferring to Ohio State. So he's going to share carries there with Trayvon Henderson. But again, they're saying that this new Buckeye, Quinshon Judkins, is Heisman-level talent and has the burst and balance to be a great NFL running back. So we'll see if that comes true. But a little like, a little, I guess you could say Zeke is kind of the fluffer for the position right now for someone like a Quinshon Judkins, who is also from Ohio State and would take over. Now, everyone's putting in the work right now when it comes to the players. They're grinding out there, right? Yeah. Is there any comments you need real quick before I keep it moving? I don't know if there was anything you had to say.
No, we're actually because earlier Revelation said, will Goodell suspend Dak like he did Zeke for that false accusation against him? And we're just having a little back and forth discussion on that. But yeah,
whole different situation, I think, as well. Even though they did
I
Zeke
agree.
wrong,
and I do imagine that it's one of the motivations behind Dak's team counter suing.
Yeah.
And pursuing charges against the person who made those false accusations to add credibility to his case. Like, hey, I very clearly did not do this thing that I'm being accused of.
Or force myself.
Like I said, Goodell obviously didn't care about people not doing the things they were being accused of back in the Zeke days. Although that situation was a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
In this case, it seems very straightforward. I mean, this lawsuit has been dismissed at this point, I think, with prejudice. Twice now.
Yeah, the thing, it's not only the 7 years difference, what I'm saying, but, in the sense of since accusation, since supposed situation. But, Zeke had done it right out of being a rookie or was accused of doing this. Again, there was a lot of ulterior motives, it seemed, from the woman who was accusing Zeke, but nonetheless, in the end, did Zeke do something no one really knows? It was more the stain and using Zeke as a kind of like, the punishment for anybody who violated the domestic violence situation.
I know it's super random, but one of the most bizarre things to come out of that whole Zeke thing is the fact that his teammate at the time, Lucky Whitehead, was sleeping with that lady.
Yeah.
So, small world, I guess. back to you. That's oh man,
a side thing to that. But yes, the thing when it came to Zeke, it's not just that part of it, but also the fact that Zeke, the charges were dropped and things, charges were dropped and because there was not enough proof, according to the prosecution. But NFL had thought that it went on too long and it was a stain on their shield. Nowadays, when it comes to this situation here, I think from day one, Dak, from the moment this woman sent the threat, it was obvious it was an extortion attempt. And he documented everything from the start, got his lawyer, went to the police before the woman did, and cut this off quickly. So, again, I think it was handled differently. I think it was a different situation. I think Dak, this is an open and shut kind of extortion case, for Dak. So I think it's completely, he will not get suspended at all for that Goodell, by Goodell for an accusation that was proven not just to be false, but criminal possibly now, right?
So, and Juan Carlos in the house, what's up? Jangly echoes, hey, all good. That was, our intention is not to, we're glad that you're able to, hang and enjoy all types of cowboy contents and flavors. We're just being real always about why we personally, don't enjoy that particular flavor. That is all.
But again, we understand that he does bring some news in there that we all do, right? So we all bring a little bit of something to this when it comes to even Mike Fisher, which again, I think great history. Currently could do better. But that's just my opinion, right? We all have our opinions. Yeah. I know he don't like us. He blocked us. So he obviously knows MC who my Cowboys family are. Yeah. So anyways, players right now grinding. A lot of guys, rookies and exactly. A lot of players, whether they're rookies or because we just talked about a possible rookie in 2025, a running back. I'll give you some names. About last year's rookie, Awesome Richards. Definitely needs to put in some work to try to even maybe make this team.
Yeah.
Well, he is putting the work in with O-line masterminds. Of course, that's Duke Manyweather and crew. A lot of Cowboys offensive linemen always hitting him up and getting stuff done. So Awesome Richards now with Awesome Richards, the Cowboys now have 10 of our offensive linemen being trained in the offseason by Duke Manyweather. I mean, like I said, it's like the whole entire offensive line goes to him to as their offseason coach.
The unofficial O-line coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, 100% the offseason coach. And it wasn't just Awesome Richards, last year rookie, this year entering his second year, but a current rookie, Tyler Guyton, number 60. He's continuing his work. We knew he's working with Big Duke Manyweather, but he's doing like leg work. He's doing some kind of like left, not even leg work, but also getting into sets that replicate being the left tackle. Oh. So it's just good to see him. Obviously, whatever the Cowboys told him to work on, he's working on, as well as with the strength and conditioning side of things through Duke Manyweather and often O-line masterminds. Again, all this ahead of training camp. Whether it's Awesome Richards working with him, pushing and pulling trucks. We saw Trent Steele doing it, Brock Hoffman doing it.
These are the stories coming out about the Dallas Cowboys as of what are they doing during this offseason? Training with Duke Manyweather. Yeah. And I'm just saying, like, that fills my heart with joy. Okay, especially seeing not just that, but it sounds like there's a lot of cohesiveness and unity. What kind of team building or camaraderie do you think is being formed if all these players are all training with Duke? Right. I think it just allows for, obviously, in my opinion, a smoother situation and transition into this new O-line. Let's be real. We got a lot of new pieces here on this offensive line, so it's nice that it seems like early on they're all getting on a similar page, right? And, of course, Duke Manyweather's been training some of the greatest Dallas Cowboy offensive linemen in recent memory, so he's obviously got some pedigree behind him. And let's be real, the ones that he coached that didn't make the cut, there was no saving them, more or less.
You look at who we know that Tyron Smith, of course, one of the guys there, he's with the Jets now. But here's the thing, though. We know Zach Martin. We know that Tyler Smith, these guys work with it, starting-wise. Terrence Steele working with them.
Yeah. Obviously, Tyron Smith no longer, but he did. Right,
of course, right. But I'm saying, like, I'm trying to count the 10 guys because we got those 3, and we know Tyler Guyton's doing his work with him. There, we know that Brock Hoffman's doing work with them. We know that Cooper Beebe is doing center work with him in the offseason. And then you got other guys out there that like TJ Bass. I've seen video of him out there working with the O-line masterminds. And you got, of course, now Awesome Richards, also another guy added to the list.
Who are the last ones, though?
Oh, the last couple. I mean, one of them is our practice squad guy we had, and I forgot his name off the top of my head because we've seen him out there working with them at center. I think I said TJ Bass already, right? So,
but again, you see the layers of it. You know what I mean? We have everybody from our literal future NFL Hall of Famers all the way to practice squad guys. Yep. All working with Duke Manyweather. Fingers crossed it is for the better for them. Yes. And I have to admit, even if in Dallas, offensive line, sometimes it didn't work out for everyone, just like every other time, they somehow leave Dallas and manage to land on their feet and do all right. Connor Williams, sorry. Right?
And McGovern.
But the Connors, they ended up actually doing not so bad.
And don't forget who left now is Tyler Biadasz, who's now out there, with a new contract and doing his thing there. So again, a lot of guys under Duke Manyweather he's helped either with us still or moving on. It's still they're big players in the league, and O-line masterminds. It's right across the street from the Star. Every Cowboy offensive lineman should be out there, working hard. So, anyways, that's on the offensive side. How about the defensive side? There's a couple guys working out, so grinding out there that we know. We have videos either already uploaded or about to be uploaded. But Sam Williams out there, he's going to get a lot more reps this year, guys. He's going to be the, that Dante Fowler. This is a make or break
year for Sam Williams.
This is going to be a Dante Fowler, Dorrance Armstrong kind of replacement. It's going to be Sam Williams. So him, and on the inside, Osa Odigizua. They're both working together with Coach B.T. Jordan. He's a pass rush specialist. Now, Osa is going to be working from the 3 tech. But maybe there's some 3-4 lineups, right? That maybe you'll see Osa have to play the 5-tech situation. So we'll see how that goes for pass rushing wise for Osa. We know Sam Williams got to show up this year. He's going to be a major guy in the rotation without a question. So Sam Williams into his third year here. He's putting in the work out there.
Refresh my memory. Wasn't he one of the people that Zimmer mentioned specifically at one point?
Not.
Like I said, I could be misremembering. You know what I mean? But I swear that he, had mentioned him in particular. Again, could be wrong there. So,
again,
someone let me know.
Yeah, but we've heard him speak on the fact that there's going to be an important role for a lot. I don't know if he mentioned Sam Williams. I forgot if he did or not. But I know Sam Williams is definitely a guy the Cowboys.
It's hard to remember because again, Zimmer really only spoke one time early on after he was brought into the building, and he's basically hunkered down since.
Yeah.
So,
and I'd like it. That's fine.
Not saying he has to talk, just saying that it's been a while and I could be wrong there.
Look, the point here is that Sam Williams, we know for a fact, is going to be used a lot in this rotation with Micah on the one side and DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side. But you're going to see what happens on 3rd and 7 when we go to the double mug A gap kind of push, and when you see both Kendricks and Micah playing in the A gap. And now you're going to have Sam Williams playing as one of the pass rushers on the other side of DeMarcus Lawrence or somebody else. So I'm just saying, expect a lot of Sam Williams. And Osa is technically, of course, the starter at that 3-tech. Seems to need to do a better job. Now, pass rushing, he's doing a good job. I think run stopping. So, we'll see. Right now, he's kind of both Sam Williams and Osa Odigizua are going to be counted on this year to maintain the Cowboys' reputation as one of the most, scariest pass rushing units in the league. Sam Williams is going to be in the rotation. Osa is part of the starting crew there. So, important there on defensive line. Now, what about a linebacker? Interesting situation here. Damone Clark, who's kind of right now has a cover one. It's basically called Cover One Training Elite linebackers and defensive backs. It's for linebackers and defensive backs. It's a camp that actually
did he start it? Or
Damone Clark's doing it, and it's in Hawaii. So again, he's out there working with Derek Stingley.
He's doing the Adam Sandler thing. I see you, man.
He's doing that. He's working out with Derek Stingley Sr., who again we talked about linebacker and cornerback, camp here. So they're out there doing their thing in Hawaii right now. Not a workout session, but more working with different people, different levels of a class of players at the linebacker and cornerback positions there. But that's Damone Clark doing his thing. And linebacker back home, I'll post a video shortly on him when it comes to DeMarvion Overshown. We know he's bulked up some, got some muscle, but he also showed on social media taking away some time from the field to teach himself how to play guitar. So you'll see that little clip here shortly. Cool. Yeah, awesome to see players pursuing interests outside of football. And they should be supported for it, but also I like to see the fact that we're seeing guys going to these defensive, like Damone Clark, and he has his camp for kids, for the youth. We saw it last week with other players. A lot of these guys are working out, busting their ass right now, and sometimes they're taking a little bit of time away to kind of clear their mind. So it's good to see all different levels of working out here, right?
Yeah, the expanding their interest in out in these streets ways, right?
Yes, that's what we like to see.
I see it just the same as when you have players doing, yoga or ballet or other things. You know what I mean? You want a well-rounded player.
How about players that have podcasts?
Oh.
Well, you know what?
Maybe less rounding there. Maybe less rounding in that direction.
When it comes to this, I do want to give a quick update. Because Micah Parsons ain't worrying about a goddamn podcast like most people think he's prioritizing. The man is working out, busting ass, and again, you might have seen some video right now. I gotta have more video for you guys tomorrow of this man, busting his ass, grinding out there, putting in the work. We've seen it throughout the whole offseason. Yes, he was in Japan for a little bit. Yes, he has some funny videos here and there. He does with the NFL, and not just for just he's just lazy, right? He's out there busting ass, and Coach Lance Dean, one of the guys that are helping him, we know he's old school with his coach, who've been training him every offseason, doing this thing in the sand pits now, or now doing it actually on the beach in the sand. But basically, here's the quote from the coach that's working with Micah Parsons right now. But as we get closer to training camp, he said, "quote If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just add more. The bag's still growing. In the meantime, continue to perfect what you already have dominated with. If it doesn't translate, we don't do it. So, again, Micah is putting in the extra work this offseason and in these weeks before training camp to get himself right back to it.
I do agree with this point there as far as if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Keep Micah doing what Micah does best.
Yes.
I am still dying to know what kind of tweaks Mike Zimmer is going to bring to see if it brings out even better things in Micah, right? Just saying. Ah, McLovin.
I see McLovin in the house. Funny. You might be spared today. There's not going to be an MCF After Dark tonight, I don't think so. But maybe a Wednesday, Thursday night one. We'll see what happens.
Twiggletoes comment's going to have to be maybe explain a little bit, but I'd rather hear less about your feet.
I don't even know what that means, other than he's probably trying to portray it as something else. Yeah, it's something like that. He's probably trying to do the. June just ended. I'm sure McLovin is very upset, as you can tell by his rainbow.
I mean, he looks very proud to me. Anyway,
this is not After Dark. We can't do the After Dark thing. We gotta stay focused.
Sorry, sometimes it slipped. He said, "Fuck on my night off." So
I know, man.
Maybe you'll do an MCF after Quickie just for you.
And after Quickie. I don't know. We had some good ones the last couple of nights, but I've been trying to maintain that a little bit better here. It could be a Quickie Tito Tuesdays. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but we'll finish up strong here in the sense of we're almost done already here on MCF, the main channel, and Micah's routines. I know people criticize him, but Micah I think is gonna be ready to go in training camp, no problems. Yes.
I do have to say this, though, because this is cracking me up real quick. James Herr with some inside info. Apparently, this is all over some Houston social medias. But apparently, a Houston reporter said Stroud's not too happy with Diggs because they were out at a bar, got themselves some baddies. But Diggs had to go live with it. And I guess Stroud did not appreciate that. But you gotta, what's the first rule of bagging a bad chick? Did you really bag her if you don't show her off? So clearly, we have two different philosophies here when it comes to securing that bag, so to speak. I just thought that was funny to see. That's what the Houston Texans are up to this offseason, while our Cowboys are, keeping it clean and just working out. Sorry, I had to.
Hey, that's a good point. I didn't know that had happened for the Houston Texans, but yeah, they're going. It seems like hey, what's up? What up in the house here with us, Alexander 302. Well, listen, the Cowboys. It was that star and the cheerleaders. I got to be honest. Back in the early '80s, when I first didn't even know what football was, but that's what attracted me to the Cowboys. Mr. What up there? Cheers to you and McLovin. We'll see about going after dark, but everything else I don't know. Look, we just talked about Micah Parsons. I believe is going to be a Hall of Famer, and eventually, again, assuming he can keep up and his body can keep it up for 8-9 years, and he'll be able to last long enough to be in the all-time greats level. But active players right now, the active players with the most first-team All-Pro selections, four All-Pro selections: T.J. Watt, Travis Kelce, Johnny Hecker, special teams there, Aaron Rodgers, Cordell Patterson. 5 first-team All-Pro selections: Tyreek Hill, Justin Tucker. Remember, these are current players. They're current active players. With 6 of these first-team All-Pro selections, the guy I talked about earlier, Bobby Wagner, who the Cowboys could have had with Dan Quinn for at least probably the last couple of years, which would have made our defense a lot better. But then we had the only guy that has 7 first-team All-Pro selections, and it's none other than the great Zach Martin from the Dallas Cowboys. So, Zach Martin right now, he is, he is getting a little older. Still, though, at the top of his game. Still, right now, currently the only active player with 7 first-team All-Pro selections. That's currently the most of all active players in the NFL right now. So, you talk about some of these, the Micah working out, getting back on the grind there for training camp. You got Zach Martin, who, last year had to hold out in training camp to get his money, but still at the top of his game and the best, you could say, most first-team All-Pro selections, with 7 of all active players right now out there. And then you got to throw in there again, not putting Dak in that cat. Maybe Dak will be there one day, but I do want to give you a little information here. This is one of the topics of today. Dak's accuracy, and we're going to start with just like some of the odds, over-under stat projections when it comes to Dak Prescott in 2024. In the regular season, when it comes to passing yards, they're saying there's an over-under on him with 4,050.5 yards. So basically 4,060 yards. I'm sorry, 4,051 yards. If you get that, you could take the over on that. The under, again, it's still over 4,000 yards. That's crazy, but they're putting Dak up there in the 4,000 yard club, no problem. The over/under, if he's healthy, he's over. I'm just gonna let you know on that. Now, when it comes to the regular season passing touchdowns number, 29.5 is where, and that's about. Last year he had over that, one of his best years. When it comes to passing touchdowns, if not his best year, the 29.5 touchdowns. Again, if he stays healthy, I think Dak easily gets that over 20. It means you have to hit 30 or over that. And then when it comes to regular season interceptions, which again only had 1 year, he really had bad interception numbers, which is the year with Kellen Moore there, second to last year ago, I guess 2 years ago. But 11.5 interceptions is the number right now for the over/under. So if he throws 12, you take the over, right? Yeah. It could hit that number, but I think, just like, Mahomes hits, 12, 13, 14 every year sometimes with his numbers, with his, with the interception rates there. And we know Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and others, if they are healthy, they throw into the 12 and 13 interceptions per year. So, Dak will be right there in those numbers, right? Will he get around 9, 10 picks? Or will he get more than that, to the 11 and up? So we'll see what happens. But Dak Prescott, I think, will be fine overall because of his accuracy. Listen, there's been a study out there, a statistical kind of breakdown here, of the highest rate of incompletions due to inaccurate passes. So I'll break it down in a minute for you here. But first, let's break down what Jet Li 44 had to say. Currently, the gifting champion, 8 out of the last 9 weeks. And
Thank
of course,
you, Jet Li 44.
He's back in that star level.
That's right, dropping a $2.45 holler saying the only Dallas team making moves are the Mavs.
Yeah,
the Rangers too, I guess, right?
Well,
not necessarily making moves, but at least they got somewhere.
Yeah, making the conference championships. The thing is, the Mavericks, they're picking up, Klay Thompson from Golden State. They're making moves out there. They're trying to win. They're trying to go all in. Unlike our Dallas Cowboys. I hear Jet Li 44, who still is in second place overall, but not far back on first place, multi-super Kalo, who, but again, I already added the Jet Li star level drop, which dropped today. So much love to Jet Li, who's currently still a little bit behind in second place on the overall board.
Now, do you guys remember the days of CDs, right? Like CD,
not CD Lamb, like CDs
compact
music.
Discs. It just made me think of, you guys remember those? Now that's what I call music, right? Now that's what I call an off season. It's for the Mavs.
Yeah, no, I mean,
they're making
started,
moves.
Yeah.
They're actually trying to win something. They saw how close they were, and they don't want to taste that failure again.
Sounds like Jerry's down to the opposite of that, but
Jerry keeps tasting it, and it tastes better every year, I guess.
I know. I guess he likes the taste of defeat. But the crazy thing is that people blame Dak to an extreme account. I think. I mean, even though he's not worth the money, or hasn't got us past the divisional round yet, it's not the Dak Cowboys. It's the Dallas Cowboys, a team thing. It's the defense as well, and there's coaching, there's the offensive line, and others. And when you look at Dak entering this season, I'm looking at a lot of issues there when it comes to not really adding much. Right now we're having this CD conversation we're going to have in a minute here, but we need our receiver. We can't have Brandon Cooks being our number one receiver for Dak Prescott. That's not going to help Dak Prescott or McCarthy or the offense at all. We're playing with fire already with just throwing in Zeke as a starter, which is insane for me to think like that we're going backwards in a way. That a guy that we should use more as a specialist is going to be named the quote-unquote starter. So we're not helping Dak on the field. The frustration for McCarthy playing on the contract season, the head coach, it's frustrating for him to try to get his offense at full blast when he's working with a lot of guys that have to step up, rookies, undrafted guys as depth, or trying to start them. So a lot of slowing down there. But even with all these things with Dak, whether he had good players or bad players on his team, or I'd say good players or average players or step-up players, whatever you want to call it, look at the highest rate of incompletions due to inaccurate passes. And let me just say, this is for 2023. All right, and you have to have a minimum of 175 attempts. So you just can't have like 10
to
throws.
Even be on this list.
Yeah, exactly. So you just can't have like 10 throws.
The point is that the backup quarterbacks aren't like skewing these results.
Right. And some backups, like Flacco, probably is on this list.
Well, yeah,
you know?
if they played enough to do so, that's a different story.
So here's how they do this, though. How do you kind of judge the rate of incompletions, but not just incompletions. Incompletions due to inaccurate passes when it's on the quarterback. Now, here's what they judged it on. The receiver error. If the receiver ran the wrong route, or maybe again dropped the pass, that would not be counted as an inaccurate pass in this. Okay. Good coverage, meaning that if the quarterback threw the ball and the guy was blanketed, it cannot be qualified as an inaccurate pass when he's fully covered. Now, maybe it was a bad decision to throw the ball, but they don't count that as an inaccurate pass. Pressure, when a quarterback does not have a clean pocket, and I'm sure they have different ways of judging the pressure levels, but pressure was a big kind of, and I agree with this, because when a quarterback is pressured, he's going to be inaccurate. So they're trying to take it as quarterbacks stand there normally under good conditions, that has a guy that's open, somebody who has some kind of separation, and it's not dropped by the receiver, the wrong route by the receiver. Also, miscommunication, another thing that would cause it to be not the quarterback's fault or fully on him. So again, this is just due to 100% on the quarterback's bad throw. It is 100% a bad throw. No matter what happened. Good coverage, they take it out of the mix. Yeah. Receiver error out of the mix. Pressure out of the mix. Miscommunication out of the mix. Just straight up quarterback to receiver. 175 of these kind of passes last year. The worst 15. Deshaun Watson. The worst of all. 43.9% of his passes were inaccurate. That were in optimum situations for him. Tyrod Taylor, Trevor Siemian, Bryce Young, Lamar Jackson. Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, Aiden O'Connell, Kenny Pickett, Easton Stick, Matthew Stafford, Joshua Dobbs, Daniel Jones, and Tua Tagovailoa. These 15 guys, the most inaccurate passers when in good conditions in the pocket. The best guys, the most accurate passers, quarterbacks in the NFL in the best situations, right? When you give them the best things, right? Josh Allen's at 27.8%. And you can go down this list of missing, being inaccurate with your passes. Yeah. Josh Allen's probably, again, he's like the 10th best, I guess you could say, down to Will Levis and then Dak Prescott. The 8th, you can say the 8th most accurate passer in good situations. 27.2% of the time, he threw an incompletion in a good condition situation. It was not on the receiver mistake or good coverage or, miscommunications, that kind of stuff. Herbert, Goff, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, Jake Browning, and Geno Smith with 21.8%, then 21.6% of the time incompletions, which is, again, Dak is placing in the top 10. Dak, when you give Dak protection, when you give Dak time and a scheme and, normal stuff that everybody should have, Dak will be fine. Dak hits the guys. When you take out the receiver errors and drops, Dak will be fine. But now we cannot be taken away from Dak Prescott, because that's the thing. You put more on Dak's shoulders, and then you take away players. That's where Dak, will suffer. That's where any quarterback will suffer. And one of those players is this guy right here, CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. We're gonna talk about him in a minute, but first we got B Bird in the house, dropping that $5 on it. Woo! The $5 holler.
Thank you, B Bird. You know what he had to say?
Here. Hit me with it.
The way the Joneses move can be traced back to one thing. They can't lose their jobs. Other GMs need to win to keep his job, so they sign players. Yeah, again.
It's called accountability. 100%.
When you can't be fired, when you know that all your mistakes are basically whoopsie daisies.
Yeah, we get them again next year, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the only thing that keeps me from fucking up my job is the fear of being fired, but I can't lie and say it isn't a motivating factor to make sure I'm always producing quality work. I mean, is that not just a basic fact of life, right? Like, how long do you keep getting away with sucking so bad and you still get to keep doing what you're doing? The part that still bothers me the most is the fact that the Joneses are delusional enough to still think they're doing a good job. Good job fucking where? Where? Anyway.
And listen, I 100% agree with B-Bird.
Yeah, and take it easy, James Hurd. Have a great night.
Yeah, we're almost done. We got the last topic here, which is CeeDee Lamb, but I'm 100% in agreement with B-Bird here. First of all, this means there's a lack of accountability for the mistakes that Stephen Jones does and Jerry Jones does. Now, take a look at Will McClay. Now, that man does something with nothing. He does a lot with nothing. That's called accountability. That's called there's a reason for me to keep doing what I need to do so I can keep my job. His last name is not Jones, and Stephen Jones doesn't have to worry about losing his job. So his general, what is it? His degree in
isn't it engineering? Right?
Yeah, and
civil engineering. Or something?
His engineering degree with his fraternity brother, who's the cap manager with him, who's been in a locker room once. These are the guys running the cap for the Cowboys, and it's different than any other team. They got people that are specialists doing this. We got two schmucks doing this, and I'm talking about Stephen Jones and his frat buddy there that are running these caps. So when you look at the mismanagement by this front office, whether it was going after Galloway and giving away so many picks back in '99, whether it was Roy Williams, the receiver from the Lions, giving away a bunch of draft picks for him, making bad mistakes on these trades, or I think good ones, like the Amari Cooper situation, but then we screw it up when we fumble
even when
that.
We made good moves.
Yeah.
We somehow still managed to screw the pooch.
So it's a front office issue, and there's no accountability. So when you hear Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, there's no accountability. When you hear that, sometimes it trickles from the top down, and it feels like when the coaches see no accountability with the front office, then some of them could get lackadaisical and say, "Well, there's no accountability at the coaching level," and the players also see that,
and that's how you end up with this team culture that we have been obviously railing against the last few years of complacency and conformity with mediocrity.
Yeah, like the Joneses have said, Jerry and Steven, their job, and I guess that's why they keep their job, because we know they're the owners too, but I'm saying their job is to keep us in the news. Their job is to keep us competitive in a season, to make sure people put their ass in their seats, even if we're not going to make the playoffs or even if we're going to lose in the playoffs. They don't talk about winning. That's not one of their pillars. It's competitiveness. They've spoken about this. So if you have that kind of lack of accountability in the first place, mismanagement, there's nobody to say you're fired. There's and then you sit there and then you basically put it all on like Will McClay to save you, which he does a great job helping us. But imagine if we had the other two branches actually helping out here.
Yeah.
Man, we would actually maybe have a real chance for that 6. But now we talk about Dak Prescott. You talk about we can't lose any pieces. We lost pieces around Dak. We don't have really running backs. Not that we don't have enough to do something to the running back situation, but it sounds like we're going to lean heavy on the pass. And then we hear this about CeeDee Lamb. So let's go through this real quick, because this is the last topic, and we'll make it quick tonight here and close it out. But according to Pretty Ricky 213, who's the one that kind of kicked this not say rumor, but this information out there, a.k.a. Ricky on Twitter, he said, quote, CeeDee Lamb will request to be traded if the Cowboys do not offer him a new contract worth at least $32 million per year. He wants to be at least the second highest paid receiver in the NFL. Now, let me just start that off with no shit Sherlock. We know he's going to want at least $32 million. There's no way you should be getting less than that.
This is some Nostradamus thing here.
Yeah, so that first part, of the tweet to me, or the information released there, if the Cowboys are offering him $31 million, that is, I would want to be traded. I would want to be traded also if I'm CeeDee Lamb, just based on the receiver market and the fact that AJ Brown would be getting paid more than you. That don't equal out right there,
something
right?
about that doesn't seem to add up. And the fact that, that $32 million, that also puts him behind Justin Jefferson, where he should be.
Yeah, well, again, but the thing is that the thing is $34 million is one thing, but 32 is another. The fact that this thing is saying that this report is saying that 32 is the baseline, no shit. Obviously it is. Anybody that knows what's going on and following this knows he's going to get over $32 million. It sounds like... Could it be, if this is a true report, the Joneses are being extra cheap here. I mean, offering him under $32 million is a disgrace. It's disrespectful by the Joneses. I know it's social negotiations, but now we know where the negotiating baseline is, and it's more than A.J. Brown. And around Justin Jefferson, $35 million per year.
Yeah, somewhere between that.
He's either getting lowballed by the Joneses, which is always believable. That's why I think these reports catch fire, you know? Because it is believable. Our front office has done this, and they love to be in the news for bullshit reasons. But again, it's no surprise that, quote, he wants to be the second highest paid receiver in the NFL at the very least. Obviously, if he wants to be there with Justin Jefferson, we were waiting for that deal to go through. Obviously, we want to, obviously he wants to see, the Justin Jefferson money, not the A.J. Brown money. Could have done a deal 2 months ago if that was the case. And the biggest part of this is he wants to be traded. Now, if you don't get over $32 million. Of course, I understand, the background on this, how easy it is to jump to, like, if he's mad, he just went. This is called, it could be negotiation tactics for CeeDee Lamb and his agent. But the thing that, to me, that's the most concerning of this whole report is the report itself. Not to be offensive here to Pretty Ricky 213, but the sources of most people when they're talking about the CeeDee Lamb thing, I hate even putting it as the number one topic, but I have to address it this way. But the sources are very thin. That's why we don't sit here and not going to run with it and saying, how much could he even pay? $32 million, that's disrespectful. Oh my God, that's bullshit. How can they do CD like this? I'm not doing that, even though I'm against the front office, the way they run everything. Yep. I'm not sitting here saying, oh my God, how could they do that? How could the front office do this stuff? It'd be easy. That's low-hanging fruit. It seems like a setup. I do not buy this report. There's nothing in here that's really credible. Now, let's go to the actual source, which I know you have a little more information about.
So this Pretty Ricky, and shout out to the NFL subreddit, by the way, where several people were discussing the fact that it seems like this gentleman has a history of inaccurately reporting these things, but apparently once deals are actually, getting putting pen to paper, it sounds like this gentleman works somewhere on the behind the scenes part when it comes to actual contracts. So once the contracts are going back and forth and being signed and things like that, on that, extremely accurate. I will give credit there to, by the way, he's also like an NFL like meme shit poster. Just throwing that out there. Like,
yeah, most of these guys are doing these accounts to catch,
but when
to
it
get money
comes
off
to
of that.
any other rumors, pretty much straight garbage. He's just kind of saying his thoughts.
Let me break it down and see if I understand this right. Because, if let's say the NFL's report saying that CeeDee Lamb is signed with the Cowboys with an extension, if he reports on the numbers or the situation, now at that point, he's more trustworthy,
exactly.
You're saying.
Okay. At that point, and again, not saying it's going to be 100%, obviously, but seems like more correct than not, and seems to have some kind of inside knowledge once the contracts are signed or going back and forth.
But in this situation where there is a chasm, it feels like, he's trying to say between Jerry Jones and CeeDee Lamb, and these kind of rumors that are still not been officially, obviously signed, or deals that are not officially been passed or made or kind of agreed upon. You're saying his track record's pretty bad. Yeah. On his news info on this, on his insider information. Yeah.
So until you hear confirmation that CD signed, if CD signed, of course, maybe don't listen to Pretty Ricky. And wait until that moment.
Yeah, but I will say one last thing. And
pretty clicky, said Jared Jones.
Pretty clicky bait. Listen, here's the thing I do want to end this with really quickly. What do you think? And we'll talk about this more as it goes on. I just don't want to entertain it too much, because if we trade CeeDee Lamb and we don't sign Dak Prescott back extension, and Micah is a trade bait, but this is a rebuilding the pieces
Cowboys
here.
said it. The writing's on the wall that the Cowboys are rebuilding. You can't reset the market in 3 different positions. Someone's not coming back.
Again, and that's my thing. Why is anybody coming back right now, honestly? Because right now, it looks like CeeDee Lamb is not an interest for the Cowboys. It don't look like Dak's going to be interested in the Cowboys. It doesn't look like Micah's going to be interested for the Cowboys the way this is looking right now. So the Cowboys waited out.
What exactly does that leave us then? Rebuilding, I guess.
That's this year will be the last year we'll see maybe the playoffs for a couple of years, if this is the direction the Cowboys are going. And that's going to be the real dark times for Dallas. I remember the Hoga Boom days and the freaking, Babe Laufenberg days and those teams. I remember those teams. We had Herschel Walker, traded him away, and, we eventually got to... But we had a good manager, a good GM. His name was Jimmy Johnson. A good coach. That took these picks and made something of this. Do you trust Jerry Jones with those picks? Do you trust giving CeeDee Lamb away, Dak away, and Micah away? And then we get 15 first rounders. Do you trust Jerry Jones? I trust Will McClay. Do you trust Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones making the right moves? I do not.
Winning those Super Bowls was simultaneously the best and worst thing that happened to us because obviously fantastic, great, 11 out of 10, no notes, but Jerry Jones took them as his personal success story.
Right.
He was personally responsible for putting those 3 rings on cowboy fingers.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry.
Yeah, it was all Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, we know that part of that ego is what caused the great Jimmy Jerry schism.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and again, to me, I think that where Jerry Jones is his stubbornness. We talked about this with the organizational stubbornness. What was the number one thing that we know about Jerry Jones when it comes to trying to win a championship? Jerry Jones. You know what? Let me put him on the screen here because this is what it's about. This is why it's the clown show, guys. But Jerry Jones, no matter how much CeeDee Lamb is their guy and all this stuff, and I do believe somehow we'll eventually get these guys signed. I hope somewhere. I'm hoping for this.
CeeDee's the guy that I think is the most likely to still somehow be here when all the dust settles. I'm sorry, he's repping that 88.
That's what I'm saying.
It's hard, and we drafted
our
him.
Own
I
guys.
find it very hard to believe that him out of all people.
All 3 guys are our guys. All these 3 guys. Micah was drafted. Dak was drafted. CeeDee, of course, was drafted. But, to me, when I look at a situation here with CeeDee Lamb and the Joneses, if the Cowboys last year... I know there's some people out there saying, well, if we had signed him last year for $25 million, CeeDee was not going to sign last year for $25 million, but I said $28 million, $29 million, maybe $30 million. I'm just saying, if the Cowboys would have gave CeeDee Lamb the numbers a little overpaid last year, we would not be talking about this right now. We'd be talking about how CeeDee Lamb is underpaid because A.J. Brown would be paid more than him, and others, even Jefferson's getting 35, but all CeeDee had to do is wait. The Jones would make a mistake. Whether he gets paid here or somewhere else, he's going to get paid $34, $35, $36 million a year. The Joneses waited and made this happen.
Aguilar 04, by the way, said rebuilding? That will be an epic fail and fall back on the Jones family twice as hard. It's now, not later. You want to try to win with this squad. If not, it's the dark ages all over again before Romo.
Before Romo, and then you go back before Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Irvin. Some dark years.
Some very dark years.
There's 1-15. And that was with the new squad of guys there, but it was before Emmitt Smith. And those were the years we had. I'm talking about the 3-win years and the 5-win seasons and the 7-win seasons. Those were the Herschel Walker years with the Gary Hogeboom and the Babe Laufenberg. Yeah. There's some ugly ass years there, but there's also those years before Romo too. We were struggling with the quarterback spot. So after Aikman. So again, it just seems almost self-defeating. Why would this front office have to say that we don't get guys from other teams, we get our own guys re-signed, and then now it looks like they don't not only just get guys from other teams, re-signing their own star players. So where does that leave us? It seems like it's a rebuild. It seems like it's going to be a rebuild of some sort from this fucking front office. And we're not happy about it because I agree with Azteca. It is a failure. It is a all-in lie, which we knew from them. But it would be, in my opinion, a disgrace to the organization for the Cowboys to waste away these players' years that they have left. And every year is important. Their talent, they're wasting these talent. We could go through the Romo, Dak. You go to Witten and Dez. You go to a lot of players. The offensive linemen that we've had on here, and we've wasted them because of stubborn Jerry Jones, who, again, that's kind of what I want to finish with, these guys would rather lose every single year their way, stubbornly, and the Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones way. They'd rather lose every year their way by being in the limelight, being competitive, making money. They'd rather lose every year their way than win one Super Bowl anybody else's way. They felt that way with Jimmy Johnson. They want all the credit. He felt he got some credit for that last Super Bowl.
All the credit, but none of the blame when things go wrong. They want to, pass the buck on to somebody
Yep.
else, make it seem like, oh, we'll do better next year. Like, again, who else gets to keep their job after continuously failing, not like every once in a while, not for a handful of years? We're talking an entire generation of Dallas Cowboy fans who have been brought up under this mediocrity.
Yeah, it's basically 3 decades. We're coming upon 3 decades of failure, and do the same dumb shit the same dumb way. You're not going to win. Goddamn, you're not even get to the conference championship. Jerry Jones, I think, initially felt kind of like he was justified in the firing of Jimmy Johnson because of that 3rd Super Bowl without Jimmy. It was with Barry Switzer, but we all know the scouts, the coaches, the players are all Jimmy Johnsons. And, of course, after Jimmy Johnson was fired, there was no more GMing other than Jerry Jones since then. He's the GM. So those are the things you got to remember. Jerry Jones wants to win it his way so he can say, listen, I can do it too. And it's almost 30 years, and he cannot do it the way Jimmy did it. Obviously, even if he got one under his reign, it was under Jimmy Johnson's reign, and every Cowboy fan knows it, and that's what bothers Jerry Jones about it. Stephen Jones is carrying on that bitterness as well, that hate, and he wants to do it his way too, or it's the highway. Well, it's going to be 29 years in January of the highway.
Yeah, the only smart
for the Cowboys,
thing that I'll say about Stephen Jones is he knows how to use Daddy Jones to be the lightning rod for all the shit that the team takes. I think he gets away with quite a bit because Jerry is still the voice of the team in that way.
And Jerry says the dumb things, and it's easily to blame.
Yeah.
But what happens when Jerry passes, and now Steven's got to be the guy?
Mm-hmm. And by the way, you know what made that very evident as well? I know we haven't touched on it too much, but that Dallas Cowboy cheerleader show on Netflix.
We're almost done with it. Yeah,
I know, but hearing Charlotte Jones talk, oh my goodness, I never really stopped to think about what Jerry would be like as a woman, but I don't have to wonder anymore because now we know.
We know.
The Jerryisms clearly have infected the rest of the family. And I'm just saying, if you're expecting different philosophies from the next generation of GMs and Cowboy owners, don't hold your breath.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the Cowboys on that side of things. But I've always said this, we have to overcome it.
Yeah.
Cowboys the players, the coaches have got to overcome the Jerry Jones foundational issues.
Godless Manitoban, what's up? By the way, Revelation journalist said, garage sale hustler Stephen Jones said only UFL players need apply to the Cowboys roster. 6'8", hello and hi, glad to have you back. And Jet Li said, you could have said the same thing with Dez, and then look what happened to him.
Yep, no, I said with Dez, Jason Witten.
Yep.
You could say with our offensive linemen that we've had throughout the last decade and a half, so to speak. From the Tyron Smiths to the Tyler Smiths, So, there's a lot of different guys we've wasted here throughout these decades, and I think we've wasted good coaches like Bill Parcells that was in here. I think that he's a guy that, really would have made a difference, but the Joneses needed someone with verifiable background so they could get their AT&T Stadium built, which is what they did. And they did it with Parcells, who got us to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years with nobodies. And Romo as being the big found guy there that Parcells made into the next great quarterback after Aikman. So again, Parcells, this organization, all the guys that have passed away, whether coaches or players, the foundation is where the problem is, and the foundation is with the Joneses. Unfortunately for us, something that cannot be changed. There's no accountability. They're the boss, and they don't fire themselves. And that's that. Until that's fixed, it's going to be hard to overcome this biggest issue on our team. And it just seems like they're doing it again now with CeeDee Lamb. So,
no, I agree.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is a wrap here on a quickie. Went over an hour here, a little over an hour. So, baby, let's do a quick shout outs and say goodnight to everybody before we turn off the lights here on My Cowboys
and
Family.
Don't forget, guys, hit like, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family or MCF After Dark if you like. Of course,
Probably
hop in the Discord links down below.
I don't think I'm gonna be going live the night after dark, but we'll see what happens if I manage an hour or two. I don't know. We'll see.
But Brandon J, take it easy. Have a great night. 6'8", much love. Godless Manitoban, thanks for hanging with us.
He still got 35 points in the stream box.
Yeah. Revelation Journalist, have a great night as well. Little Dallas Cowboy, thanks for rocking with us here as well. Jet Li 44, much love.
Yeah,
representing.
He's our gifting champion. Again, it's 8 out of 9 weeks in a row. And I do want
Jared Jones as well.
Jared in the house. I also want to shout out Lincoln Kane, LC, who's our sponsor of the week, and Cash App King for this week. The leader right now on the boards, still multi-super cockle, or super Kalel, as that's the real name there. Much love the super. And you are currently up by just a couple over Jason Renfro, who's in second place on the overall board. Just wanted to say that.
No, of course.
And also shout out those that are in, drop the love today, like Jetly44 in the membership in that star level, Jangly Echoes, and B-Bird. So thank you guys on that side as well.
Aztec Aguilar 04, have a great night. Drums and Cowboys, much love. Let's see, we have James Hurd, take it easy. B-Bird, thanks for hanging with us. Madman representing. What up?
What up?
Orion Files, yeah. Jerry likes to taste a lot of interesting things.
And he got in trouble.
Alexander 302.
He's got a kid because of his extracurricular activities.
Revelation Journalist. Texas Twister. McLovin.
In the house.
Let me see. Is that as far back as I can go? Let me see. Juan Carlos. Bruce got the toxic juice. Double R. Shout out to all of you. But yes, that is officially far back as I can go.
And again, I might do a literal 2-hour music stream tonight for Tito Tuesday. 2-hour. A lot of T's today. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I may do something like that. We'll see if I feel it.
Anyway.
I might do something like that. But again, you guys be subscribed over there to MCF After Dark and have the notification bell on so you know if I do go live or not. Even if for a short amount of time. So, guys, thank you for joining us here. Probably will not be live tomorrow, but more so Thursday or Friday. And then the finale on Sunday. Either way, if the latest will be Sunday, we're going to have our star level, over everything level membership raffle for the jersey to see who's the big winner on that. There's still time to get into that level, in the star level or over everything level, as well as any of them at level here on MCF, Navy, Blue, Silver, 2, and all of them. All those different levels to get into this raffle. You got to be in the star over everything. So anyways, just wanted to clarify that. Appreciate it, and much love to everybody in the house watching us on the replay. Drop some comments down below outside of hitting the like and all that good stuff. And baby, why don't you let everybody know why we do this each and every night, or at least try to do it every night here. Again, for 7 full years, over 7 full years here on YouTube, entering our 8th year. Why do we do this, baby, here on My Cowboys Family?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly here on MCF. We always rep that star over everything. And, of course, again, the first time we can say this, but over 7 years on YouTube here on My Cowboys Family. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for rolling with us in the chat all night long. Thank you guys for dropping a little love from above during this quickie stream. Again, we back Thursday or Friday. Maybe both days if there's news. Hopefully there's a CeeDee Lamb signing. Not a sighting, a signing. But either way, guys, appreciate you all. Thank you. As we wrap it up, get on out of here, clock on out of here, dropping out of here before we can officially get rolling onto another show maybe tomorrow, or I'm sorry, next week, next couple of days. Before we can officially drop out for the night, tell them what we got to do.
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat's been officially dropped. And thank you guys for dropping in here, listening to some of the wrap-up for the last 2 days of our Dallas Cowboys. All the news, info, and updates on our Cowboys here. All brought to you in this, quickie. Another MCF Cowboys quickie tonight here. Yeah, 7-year anniversary for our channel. Now into our 8th year officially. Dak pointing out some accuracy things about Dak that are good. Also pointing out that, hey, he needs CeeDee Lamb back in the mix. Now there's talk he wants to be traded. I don't buy it. I don't buy the numbers. We discussed it all. But the Joneses, they're always up to something clownish. You never know with them. It's taking too long to get CD signed, in my opinion. But, hey, I'm not freaking out yet. We'll see what happens at the end of this thing. Here, at the end of this stream, we know what it's about. It's about that navy blue, that silver 2, that star over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to all of you repping it here with us tonight. And, of course, also those repping it by dropping that thumbs up, that like button for the stream. going to that subscription side of things, make sure you subscribe, be part of the family. We have over 38,000 family members here, growing. So thank you guys for that. And of course, the notification bell, hit it on to all videos so you know when we're going live. Outside of that, guys, appreciate you all. Stay safe. Much love. We'll see you soon. Have a good night. And I see Jason Renfro, Jetly44, dropping a little $2 holler as we get on out of here. And he said the clown show in the dictionary. The clown show is in the dictionary, which is insanity. Agreed. Much love, Jetly44, and everybody else in the house. We'll see you soon. Peace. And never forget, go Cowboy!